tuning in right now probably want my blood just by looking at the title of the video. Just hear me out, because trust me, this video is for you. Growing up, there's no doubt Pokemon was king of the schoolyard. With the games, the swag, the movies, the cards, and the TV show, it was a bona fide children's cultural phenomenon that all franchises only dream to be. And what's a king if their throne isn't challenged? So many franchises expectantly popped up to seize that collect everything that we put out crown, with only really Yu-Gi-Oh! Coming close. And of course, me being me, I didn't really get into it all that much. I mean, yeah, I played Red, a bit of Yellow, and watched the first season of the show when it was on, but very quickly I got burned out on the franchise and soon began avoiding it and everything else like it. I just keep on making all kinds of statements that are going to get me killed. Just bear with me. Again, in the aftermath, there really wasn't too much I was interested in this craze. But then, one early fall Saturday morning, I was flipping channels to start crafting my new weekend watching schedule, and I came across Digimon. And I immediately said, fuck this, and just kept flipping. I mean, come on, cute little pets, whimsical preteens, anime, the suffix mon. Great, another ripoff to exacerbate my already dying care for Saturday morning programming. I immediately wrote it off and never even cared to look back. That was a mistake. It wasn't until summer break almost a year later, when I was struggling to find something to do on Sunday mornings, that I finally gave it a fair chance. Remember the Fox Family Channel? Let me jog your memory a bit. Remember this abomination?
And now to today's story, starring me, and not starring Nanette Memoir.
Yeah, I somehow wound up there. I guess it was my growing interest in anime, and their Anime Invasion, Made in Japan programming block was the best option in those dog days of summer. And with a broke-ass Dreamcast, I didn't really have too many options. It wasn't bad, though. It had Flint the Time Detective. Yeah, I barely remember it either. Monster Rancher, which for being another Pokemon spawn, well, admittedly it was okay. But with this programming block pretty much being my only option on Sunday mornings, it kind of forced me to finally give Digimon a chance. Very quickly, I found myself enthralled with the adventures of Tai, Matt, Sora, TK, Joe, Mimi, Izzy, and Kari, as Digimon showed that it was not content with copying Pokemon and making you buy all the things. It had a story to tell. A story with so much heart that it has resonated with me into my adulthood. Ever since the announcement of the Digimon Adventure Tri movies, I've been meaning to go back and re-watch the series in Japanese because, unfortunately, it came out early in the American anime movement where publishing companies had very few gripes with taking liberties in their translations. So this past summer, I gave myself the opportunity to go back and actually give Digimon Adventure a try. I'm glad I did. Despite the base similarities I listed earlier, it quickly becomes obvious that there's something a little bit different going on here in Digimon Adventure. It had robust, well-rounded, relatable characters with fully developed arcs. It tackled heavier themes like divorce, adoption, abuse, and even death when no other shows would dare be that mature. But what really sets it apart from its brethren is that it's not content with the episodic story formula. With only a small number of filler episodes, which still serve a purpose in fleshing out the characters, Digimon Adventure has a clear beginning, middle, and end. It does not want to overstay its welcome. Even at a young age, I found myself gravitate to more shows that had a continued storyline, rather than a formulaic, repetitive, safe episodic format. Back then, plot-based shows were still a little bit rare, but were just coming into prominence. Executives were worried that by making a plot-based show with a continued storyline, anyone who missed the first episode just wasn't going to give it a chance. However, the early mid-90s successes of X-Men and, to a certain extent, Power Rangers may have showed them that there is some value in the format and could be a way to increase audience retention. It also helped that the demand for anime shows was really starting to grow, and you can't really get invested in that without coming across a lot of plot-based shows. Another thing that really gravitated me to the art form. Getting back to Digimon Adventure, admittedly, the story starts pretty unremarkably. A group of kids get sucked against their will into another world where they are destined heroes prophesized to wipe the evil from the land. Nope, never heard that before. But rather quickly, you start to see that there is something more here than the usual kids' cartoon shovelware. The kids? generally feel like real kids, despite their crazy character designs, and genuinely interact with each other how preteens do. The show spends its first third on building them up as people and only alluding to their backstories. Yeah, they do pretty much fit into character stereotypes, not unlike most shows that would just plop them in there and expect you to get it. They get heavily fleshed out and exceed the expectations that you would come to expect from their various archetypes. As things progress, you see them fall into mistakes, quarrels, misunderstandings, and even losses, all in an effort to try to find their way home. You start to become very familiar with the formula, and based on past similar shows, you think you have a pretty clear idea of where the show is going. But you're wrong. Right here, at the end of the show's first third, is where this show turns from being slightly above average to absolutely legendary. This moment right here is one of the most striking turning points I've ever seen in a show, as the quality of the writing goes to a whole nother level. Even with the shoddy Saban dub, this was the moment where this show became more than just something to watch. It became a lifetime favorite. As the children all begin to find their way back to their own world, the dynamic completely changes and reaches its potential that was only alluded to in the first third of the series. To get it out of the way, the expected we need to hide our Digimon from our parents plot does happen, but it's never a full focus. It honestly plays with your expectations a little bit. The story reaches new emotional heights as character backstories are fully realized, family relationships develop, harsh realities realized, and the stakes raised to levels I never saw coming. I'm purposely avoiding the details because it's not really relevant to the point of this video, but also, if you haven't watched this show, give it a chance. I don't want to spoil it for you. With all the praise I'm putting on this show, you might think you missed a near-perfect anime. Well, yeah, it has its flaws. Digimon Adventure is very much a product of its time. It's littered with money-saving, time-consuming transformation sequences, poorly alluded to new evolutions that only superficially demonstrates the character's growing strength, a slight overemphasis on many problems being solved with the power of love and friendship, and while it has its charm and can get away with a so corny and can't help but laugh chuckle out of you, the English dub should be avoided at all costs. Which is sad because the voice cast really isn't bad at all, especially for their time, and do feel like natural fits for the characters. But the translation takes way too many liberties, guilty of cultural sterilization, omissions of questionable elements, character names and musical changes, and pretty poor production. I'm usually not one of those guys to say you have to watch the sub, but in this case it's kind of a must. But the question remains, is Digimon a ripoff of Pokemon? Yes and no. I can, with all due honesty, say I don't believe that Digimon Adventure would have ever been made if Pokemon wasn't such a phenomenon. Remember, the show is based on a property that was originally conceived as more of a competitor, or arguably a ripoff in its own right, to Tamagotchi than anything else. If Pokemon didn't become such a worldwide hit, I have my doubts that a TV show would have ever been considered. And here in the US, it was certainly pushed on the curtails of Pokemon, and definitely did all it could to try to stay in step with the franchise. So based on its merits itself, the show, not the franchise, the show, outside of the concept of cute pet monsters doing battle with each other, Digimon does a lot both structurally and contextually to really differentiate itself from Pokemon. I went off on the show's merits not just to speak of the quality of the show, but also to showcase the many elements the show displays that are simply absent in Pokemon. To be frank, Pokemon always felt like a 30-minute commercial. More content with being a byproduct of its franchise with a personality-derived self-insert main character, and every episode having as much plot significance as an episode of Scooby-Doo. Digimon Adventure, while based on a pre-existing franchise, was a show first, with character and story taking center focus and being completely uninterested in what its competition was doing over on the other channel. It may have been born from corporate greed wanting a slice of that big pie that it didn't bake itself, but it set out to do its own thing, carve out its own identity, and tell a heartfelt story that I enjoyed as a kid, but absolutely treasure as an adult. Simply writing Digimon Adventure off as wannabe Pokemon is not only inaccurate, but you're robbing yourself of one of the most well thought out, enjoyable, and heartfelt adventures in children's anime. Period.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wanted to cosplay as your favorite Vocaloid and dance a night away to Luka Luka Night Fever? Well, Tainted Reality's next club party was tailor-made for you. Coming up on December 30th, 2017 at Club Orpheus in Baltimore, Maryland, Tainted Reality brings you Vocaloid Night. 5 hours of non-stop Vocaloid favorites on a 1,000 square foot dance floor with me, Roger, as your DJ. Win Vocaloid prizes and show off your favorite Vocaloid outfit in our Midnight Fashion Contest. Or if you're a gamer like me, enter our Project Diva X tournament where you can be a beast at the game and enter our pro bracket. Or if you're just a noob who wants to have fun, join our easy bracket. Club entry is just $10. Tournament entry just $2, and the cosplay contest entry is free. Just sign up at our merch booth when you enter the club. That's Vocaloid Night, December 30th, 2017 at Club Orpheus in Baltimore, Maryland. Check out the video description for a link to the Facebook event page and follow us on social media to keep up on all of our upcoming club parties and convention appearances. Vocaloid Night is a Tainted Reality event, and this was not a paid advertisement.